Hey guys, it's Roscoe, and on the Space Couch side, I went to see The Rise of Skywalker again yesterday, and I have to say, I enjoyed it even more second time around, like I did with The Force Awakens. Whenever you see a Star Wars movie, the first thing, it's always that roller coaster, so it just goes straight past you. Second time, you can start to actually pick up on various things. So, like I said, thoroughly enjoyed it. And yeah, I know it's a complete mess, the way The Force Awakens was purely derivative and the way that The Last Jedi ended the story. They did the best they could with what they had, which was almost nothing. But yes, thoroughly enjoyable. It's that J.J. Abrams type of movie, definitely. But yeah, I mean, I really liked it. I really, really did. I picked up more on the musical themes and the nuances that they used. So there's loads of Emperor Palpatine themes, and there's some themes from the prequels as well. Although sadly, nothing like Duel of the Fates or anything like that, or Across the Stars that I could remember. But there's definitely some of the themes from all of the eras were in there. And I also noticed some of the Force Awakens themes, like some of the Resistance themes were played, certainly when Finn, Poe and Chewie are racing through the Star Destroyer, shooting everybody just before they get captured and set free by Hux. So I have managed to pick on some of the things like that. I think the Rey and Kylo stuff is probably the best stuff in the trilogy. Kylo was... After Force Awakens, I didn't get the Kylo character for a while until I realised he's meant to be all conflicted and all that. And they had the best treatment in The Last Jedi, Rey and Kylo. That Force Bond thing, they've taken that to its logical next step in The Rise of Skywalker. And I know it's ridiculous moving things through the Force, but it works in that context, I think. What else? I mean, I really liked the lightsaber fights in this. How the one on Kijimi, how it intercuts between the city street and Kylo Ren's quarters. Very well choreographed, I thought. I like the Zori Bliss character. She's not in it enough. Same with the Janna character. But I've been watching a load of videos about how this film is not JJ's film, how there's multiple different cuts, how this was completely changed in the editing bay, and JJ isn't happy with it at all, and apparently neither are the actors. I would have loved to have seen the version that had Matt Smith as the son of Mortis, apparently. That would have been awesome, and he's not even in it at all anymore. But hey, this is what we've ended up with, and this is the end of the trilogy and of the saga. And I do think it does work in that context. I mean, some of the stuff, like the Force Ghost, Luke catching lightsaber, that is obviously continued on from The Last Jedi, as of course is the Force Bond dyad thing between Rey and Kylo, again taken to its next logical conclusion. But unfortunately, a lot of the other characters don't get the development that they needed. I mean, Finn was my favourite character from The Force Awakens, completely wasted in The Last Jedi. Much, much better in The Rise of Skywalker. And I will do a separate video on Finn and whether or not he is Force sensitive or not later on today. But yeah, I really like The Rise of Skywalker. I'll be getting it when it comes out on Blu-ray, and I'll watch it repeatedly. Just to see all of the little bits that I missed, because you know how I love to pick into these films and come up with stuff that I've discovered. But there you go, guys, that's just what I thought. I did really like The Rise of Skywalker. I'm not blind to its flaws, in the same way as much as I loved The Force Awakens, I wasn't blind to its flaws either. But anyway, these things are, of course, all subjective. For me, it works. Some of the stuff, it's like, you know, like when JJ came in to do The Force Awakens, a new Death Star, a bigger Death Star, a better Death Star. And in the third film, it's a fleet of Death Star, Imperial Star Destroyers. That makes internal logical sense in a J.J. Abrams context, in that he's amping it up, and that is the route that he went with it. It's completely ridiculous, of course, but I do see that sort of consistency, that they've taken some things and amped them up. Because that's what J.J. Abrams does in all of his movies, of course. So, the Skywalker saga is over. It will be missed. I don't think the sequel trilogy will be as well loved as the original trilogy, or even maybe the prequels, because it's clear there was no plan for this trilogy, or if there was one, it was just completely thrown out with the trash when Luke Skywalker, when Rian Johnson decided to go the route that he did with The Last Jedi, ending the story in the second trilogy and leaving them with nowhere to go, because it's basically an entire trilogy in one movie. In the third movie, this is what they were left with. But like I said, I appreciate what they tried to do, close off various narrative arcs. I do think At the very end with Luke and Leia's Force Ghost, they should have had Anakin and Ben there as well. That would have made sense. All of the Skywalkers together. I guess you can't get everything in there, I suppose. But like I said, I've also been reading and watching stuff about how everyone's voice that you hear as a Force Ghost, they were actually there and they filmed it all around Rey, giving her guidance. And that would have been a great scene, I think. But that's not what we ended up with. But at least we did get to hear Hayden and the others doing their voiceovers when Rey is when she needs their help to beat Palpatine. But anyway, guys, like I said, for me, The Rise of Skywalker, it works when you take all that into context and you bear in mind that all the problems that they had trying to come up with any sort of story for this. And like I said, I appreciate what they did. And I did really, really enjoy The Rise of Skywalker, and I'm very much looking forward to picking it up on Blu-ray. Please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this content. Leave me a comment or suggestion for a upcoming topic you'd like to see discussed, or like the video.